My ankles are out. I've been informed.
Yeah.
Ryan Cortez is not here. I'm in D.C.
Why don't you have socks on?
Because I'm going to the White House. And this is my culture. I'm going to an Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month event. And sockless is my culture.
Okay.
I'm here. Hello. Domonique Foxworth, Charlie Kravitz. We're in this studio. I asked Oscar, Dominique's friend, owner, proprietor of this space, like, can you give me some embarrassing Dominique stories? And he gave me none.
There aren't any.
He was like, this guy's a really good friend.
That's
I'm
it.
like, F you all.
I mean, you act like you didn't know this. Am I a bad friend to you?
No, and then I sat down here and you said, let's get going. I have to go to a track meet.
My daughter has a track meet.
So what are you like? What's Dominique like, do you think, Kravitz, as a sidelines parent at a track meet?
I mean, I think it's a good parent is one who you don't know is there. I think Dominique would never. I actually, this is a genuine compliment. I mean, he hates compliments. I think he would never be an embarrassing sports parent.
No. It's too embarrassing. Genuinely, I enjoy watching my kids compete, and I do feel like the stress of watching them compete, but I also recognize that you look like a damn fool when you're out there yelling and getting all and fighting with the refs and telling your kids to toughen up. Like, chill out, man.
Are you yelling encouragement from the sidelines?
I don't say shit. I don't. Like,
you do stalk the
So now
sideline?
I'm a coach of my son's flag football team, so that's different. I do, and I'm probably harder on him than the other kids, but I am engaged in that.
But wait, what kind of speeches do you give as a football coach to your son?
It's just team speeches. Most of it is, honestly, see, now this is going to get sentimental and stupid, but honestly, I care that they win as much as they care that they win, but more than anything, I recognize that none of them are going to be like, make their lives playing sports. And I try to do the same thing that my father, I think, was trying to do when I was young, is like use it as an opportunity to like learn life lessons.
And yet you're also the guy who, despite the statistics of like 99% of you will go pro in something other than this sport, your screen name was NFL bound.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, 36.
I was a sicko. So... yeah, so my dad, when I was 6 in first grade,
Love this.
I told my dad I was going to be a professional football player. And my dad said, all right, well, you need to set that goal and then set small goals and work towards reaching those goals every day. So that was a day. And so that night I decided I was going to do sit-ups until I got to the NFL.
Oh my God.
And so I did a bunch of sit-ups until my stomach was so messed up that I couldn't get off the toilet for the rest of the night. And so then the next day my dad had a lesson in moderation.
You did so many setups that you couldn't stop shitting.
Yeah.
I like how you were your own abusive parent.
Yeah. My dad wasn't that.
I know. Child Protective Services are coming by because they're hearing this kid shit violently. And your dad's like, he did this to himself.
I just told him to work hard.
How should we introduce Charlie Kravitz for people who maybe didn't watch Debatable, which RIP, one of my favorite things I ever co-hosted with both of you. Charlie's your co-host, but he's also...
Charlie he's known as the vanilla snack in the Domonique Foxworth Show community. We had somebody go on IG and inquire whether he was single. Off top, guess what? The vanilla snack Charlie Kravitz is back. So, Charlie, I got wind of a DM sent by someone who thinks you're cute. Put it up. Let's take a look at... Oh, there it is. It says, I like the guy. Ask Damo if he's single and how old. So, sorry to disappoint all the fans out there. Charlie is not single.
Yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube or the DraftKings Network, sitting to my right is like Kirkland brand Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
It's a completely average-looking person.
Nah. Look at that beard. Look at that beard.
The pile of curls.
Oh, for the girls.
So if I were to introduce myself, it would be coworker turned friend of Pablo, Torre, and Domonique Foxworth.
Very good.
And snack.
Okay, so the first topic I wanted to talk about today on Share and Tell with you guys here in D.C., special edition, because I'm here for the White House, which we both, Domonique, you and I just blew through and Kravitz didn't even acknowledge, because I guess that's not impressive anymore.
We just did a whole show with Mina.
Yeah.
She's going through the same thing. Didn't mention it once.
But speaking about hanging out with old people, The first topic I wanted to bring to you is a story that originated in the LA Times, and it's about intergenerational friendships. Okay? So the intergenerational friendship is a bit of a twist on a different sort of recurring story, which is the intergenerational relationship, where you're dating somebody who is many decades older or younger than you. But this is the story of two people who have a 58-year age gap. Okay, this is Rita Green and Beverly Pate. They are best friends. They're business partners. Started when Beverly hired Rita to hang wallpaper in her apartment in Burbank in 2020, and they just became best friends. And so the LA Times is asking people, quote, "Are you in an age gap friendship? We want to hear from you." And so, before I become best friends with Joe Biden, I wanted to ask all of you guys, who's your oldest friend? Domonique, do you have old friends at all?
Friends, what are those?
Pablo, Ashley Foxworth.
Yes.
She has lots of friends.
Dominique's wife.
Yes.
Who you wanted to do this podcast in my spot for full discretion.
Didn't want to bring that up, but glad it's out there.
It's okay. Domonique always says he has no friends, to the point that she has texted me being like, "Just so you know, Domonique is your friend." He views you as a real friend.
I do view you as a real friend. And you too, Pablo.
But before we get into Dominique's neuroses about friendship, which also are a kind of obvious subplot in every episode I do with Domonique at this point, Charlie, I want you to know that I was at Tony Kornheiser's house yesterday.
You didn't have to tell us. We see what you got on.
Artist
sweater.
No.
For those not watching on YouTube or the DraftKings Network, I'm wearing a badass cardigan.
That you stole out of Tony's closet.
I don't think you're showing the proper amount of amazement and awe for the fact that he went to Tony Kornheiser's house for dinner. Yeah. Like, that is a monumental achievement. Tony, I've worked in the PTI office now for 9 years, and I saw him over the pandemic walking his dog, and I rolled down the window and I said, "Hi, Tony." He looked at me like he had never seen me before in his life. So, like, breaking down that barrier of being in his home, congratulations.
Because we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is a 75-year-old man. I am turning 39 in September. That's like age gap of 35 or so years. And yeah, I go over there and he grilled some flank steak for me. Mm-hmm. We had some wine. He does the thing that I go to him the most for, which is an uncensored version of all of his complaints about people that he hates who work at ESPN.
I love it.
Which is great. He yells at Alexa because it helps him like time when he needs to flip the steak over. And we walked his dog, actually. The dog who also ignored you, I presume.
That's correct.
I love my old man friend.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, this story, I just realized I didn't know about this, Domonique, until I read this story and realized it was an exotic concept. I think I play above my age class, as it were. I have lots of friends who are like 10, 20, 30 years older than me. And I don't know why necessarily, but I am realizing as I go through the accounting of this that this is actually true about me.
I'm wondering, like, what's the benefit of having the older friends? It's like beneficial to talk to someone who's done things that I'll never do, been places that I've never been, and also experience things that I will experience at some point, maybe in a different way. But so I imagine that you are probably a lot like Tony was when he was your age. And so while you're saying I'm Tony's friend, you're kind of just like, I'm old me's friend. Like, you're just a friend with who you are in the future, right?
Yeah. So it's to the point where, like, I don't necessarily take pride in or think about the age difference while perpetually mining him, because I mine everybody who is my friend, for stories about his life and for advice. But it's not so much even like, hey, I have this dilemma, can you help me think through it? I'm actually just fascinated about his life. And I think implicitly is the idea that I am learning about where my own life could go. And so, yeah, I am a bit of a friend to old people. I now realize, and I love it. I love that they are different. Kravitz, do you have an old friend?
I have an old friend. Her name is Lourdes Lebitard. It's Dan's mom. Every time I see Dan and I'm introduced to anyone by Dan, he goes, "That's Charlie. He's my mom's favorite."
Oh,
that's the first thing.
She sees the snack.
No. This
cutie.
This friendship was really fostered during pandemic era, highly questionable, because
don't bat those lashes at me.
Blink, blink, blink.
Well, we weren't in the studio, and Papi still wanted to be a part of Highly Questionable in a different way. He had sort of semi-retired from the show, and we did special videos of him at home that were meant to make Dan laugh, meant to make you guys laugh. And it took coordination and pre-taping, and Lourdes would help him set up the computer.
She's a saint, by
She's
the
an
way.
amazing person. And we did a Halloween episode where you, Dan, and Mina all dressed up as Papi. And I sent Papi all different costumes to dress up as you guys. One of my favorite HQ bits ever. Ridiculous. When he just roasted you guys. He just annihilated each one of your personas.
Oh, come on. Here is this thing. If I may, I like to make this topic about myself. I refuse to watch the game this week in solidarity with my good friend, my brother and my soulmate, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I invented fish magic. Ryan and I hang out every weekend. We FaceTime every day. Did you know we both went to Harvard, which is a better school than Yale, where Mina went? Oh. I also invented trusted process. I invented that after I went to Harvard.
You were sort of backstage working with another very old person in Gonzalo Le Batard.
Papi. Genuinely one of the joys of my professional career. It was writing jokes for Papi Le Batard.
So I don't know if people, Domonique, know that Papi has a writer's room.
Yeah, that would have ruined it.
I know. And as I say it, I'm already like, I don't know if I should say this.
But no, because none of these jokes were great jokes. They only worked because of Papi.
Right.
One of the Papi's bits was that he could say something and just beat a joke to death, and it would be funny every time because he said it.
I've never been called a nerd more times on television.
Oh, what? You identify with nerds?
Yes.
I mean, I guess.
Yes, he went to Harvard. All right, high five.
Oh, you're a nerd.
No.
That was the first handshake.
Yeah,
he pulled the handshake back.
That was a Papi original.
No.
Okay.
No. That was us in the production room.
Okay,
We're like, pull your hand back and call him a nerd.
And then he went on to do that bit to greater success with everybody else who ever showed up.
Great show.
My brother. Oh.
Ooh. Oh, my God. No. You did the hell of a job. Oh, I got him. He's a rookie.
Yes, Papi. Good job.
Okay,
Good
man.
job.
You're the man, buddy. Oh, he got me again. And he got you. Twice in a row. Katie, it's nice having you here. First on ESPN. No, Katie, no. I got it. She's a rookie. I got it. Hello? Yeah, hold on for a second. He's right here. It's for you, Pablo.
Oh, really?
Oh! I got him. Yes! I got him.
I had so much joy having Papi fake a back injury and lie on the ground of the Clevelander and ask for Mina Kimes to help him up.
Oh, sure. What'd you drop? Oh.
No, Mina! He tricked you with an old person thing! That counted, Mina!
Did not count!
That counts, Mina! You lose! Goodbye to Mina!
He popped, after she missed the handshake, he popped up out of bed like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory's grandfather,
yes.
who was infirmed until he got a golden ticket.
Yes, Grandpa Joe just dancing.
Dan's my oldest friend.
Yeah. Dan does feel somehow older than Papi these days.
Well, that was like when Dan became Papi on Highly Questionable.
Right.
It was great.
I do love that you rewarded Papi, who rewarded you with his trust and his fidelity by just continuing to text his wife.
Lourdes is also an incredible person at keeping in touch, because like you view it as like a view into your future self. I thought of it as a way of like getting better at talking to my parents as I get older and like having patience and empathy.
This part I hadn't thought about until just now, and it does almost hurt me because I am realizing that I am better friends with a 75-year-old man who I am not related to than the roughly 75-year-old man that is my dad.
The LeBron James of urologists.
The LeBron James of Filipino urologists specifically. I think the answer is because I am stuck in an arrested development version of myself where the version of me who I am now, who's like sockless going to the White House and is like mining people for stories about their fancy lives, feels like a version of me that didn't exist when I was a kid. And it only came to be because I got to be doing this job, living a very strange life full of like these fanciful sorts of surprising twists and turns that lead me to ridiculous places. And I'm actually deeply self-conscious. As much as I am on these shows, the guy who like brags / fake brags about all the things I'm doing, I actually feel like a total asshole doing that in front of my parents. Because I feel like they know you're not that guy. And I'm like, I'm not that guy.
This makes me wonder, when do you feel like an adult around your parents? And I think this is, again, like, from my experience, is very unique. It's like I felt like a grown-up really soon because, like, I was making real money really quickly, and, like, power dynamics shifted fast in our family. And I don't know that in the last 2 or 3 years, I've made more of a conscious effort to call my parents more regularly and try to go see them more often, because it's just not my natural instinct to maintain these relationships. I've done the same thing with friends, but I don't experience, like I see it with my wife, Ashley. While she certainly is an adult, or her parents see her as an adult, and she sees herself as an adult to her parents, it's a slower process. I'd be interested to know when it is that you, and it feels like maybe you don't quite feel like an adult yet.
I think I am perpetually concerned about whether, to my own family, I feel like I'm being someone that they know me not to be, which then therefore feels inauthentic. Even though, as I consider who I am in life, moving around, I love talking to old people, and in this case, all of my friends in general, about like the cool shit I'm doing. But I don't want to brag to my parents. You know, it just feels like
Parents want you to brag to them.
Exactly. So this is the part of it, is like the people who actually are like so endlessly curious about like what I'm doing with my life. I don't want to do that because it feels more artificial doing it with them than it does with my friends.
From a producer standpoint, I have worked with dozens of people on TV who have very different personalities on air and off air, and it's sort of like, wow, they can just turn it on and be so warm and so charming once we're doing a show. And off air, they can be sort of ish, they can be insincere.
And we're going to list them now.
But they can just be taking your notes packet and like being weird about it. Like, to me, I've loved working with you guys because you guys feel like the exact opposite. You don't really feign interest in things that don't interest you, and you don't have a different persona off air. I don't think of anyone who's less different on air and off air than you are.
Yeah, Domonique is number one on that list.
No, I would disagree with you. I think I play more of an asshole on air than I actually am in real life. And it's like
yes.
Yeah, so like I think it's funny, it's fun, it's a clear character I can play. I've been successful. I'm very attractive and muscular and have money, and like it's a fun 14-year-old.
You would never say that off air.
Okay, maybe a little bit. You know better than me. You spent more time with me.
Yeah, I don't think it's up for you to judge.
You agree?
Honestly. I agree with Kravitz insofar as,
so I'm an asshole all the time.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah.
I would say you're honest all the time.
That's cool. I like honesty.
Yeah, I would say that your lack of self-consciousness when it comes to how you're going to tell people things is definitely a through line on air and also off air.
That sweater weak as shit.
Okay. That's just a lie. I was just reminded of our respective sorts of approaches to friendship. There's a fact, Domonique, about Charlie, which blew me away when I heard it.
Oh, I know which one this is.
It's a statistic that I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Charlie Kravitz, you've been the best man for how many different people?
So I've been a groomsman in 13 weddings.
That's f***ing...
And
that's historic.
I've been a best man. I'll use the conservative number of 6.
So you have to tell us the secret. How do you have so many good friendships?
And also such that the people who've already picked you to be their best man are not dissuaded.
You know what it is? It's those Papi jokes at the reception. He be lighting the reception up with Papi jokes. He's like, hey, we got to get Charlie to do a bit at our reception.
We get the wedding film, and it's just everybody pulling their hands back. Groomsmen doing that with their ring over and over again.
I think it might explain why I was probably a better producer than talent, which is I'm a habitual not line stepper. Everyone wants their best man to be a supporting actor or groomsman to be like a supporting actor who is by no means someone who should be the center of attention at any event.
You're underselling it. Like no one, I can tell you as someone who's been married, we're not sitting there. We're not the bride. We're not sitting there like, oh man, I hope no one upstages me. It's because they
don't
actually
up guy.
No, it's not. That's not who you choose. No, you choose someone who's a friend, someone you care about, someone you want there. You're not considering like who's gonna go up there and fuck it up. Like
so, I gave a speech at a wedding where I was specifically told they're like, let's honestly. Of all of our friends, you're the least likely to get really drunk and say something offensive in this situation. Ironically, at that wedding, it was the speeches at the rehearsal dinner, and there's like, all right, you're going after the maid of honor.
Uh-oh.
There were 13 speeches before I went, and I kept on being like, I need a little bit of liquid courage. So I actually ended up being hammered at that one speech where I was explicitly told not to be hammered for.
I think the thing that stands out to me about that, and this is, again, tied up in, like, the unique life that I've led is I just reconnected with some high school friends, like, a month ago. I don't have that many lifelong friends because my life took me from this group and this, like, socioeconomic place and even this physical location to a bunch of different places that my friends weren't or couldn't go. So like that impacts the relationships and like the sit-ups till you shit your pants is like a demonstration of the hierarchy of things that were important to me.
Yes.
And later in life, and a weird thing happened to me that I think I've talked to both you guys about is like I went to business school with the perception that like, all right, I made good money playing football. Now I'm going to compete something else. I'm going to be the CEO. I'm going to turn this money into hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. Then I got to business school and it was the first time I had like not had a specific goal because prior to that, my goal was get into a top business school. Before that, get a second contract. Before that, get a first contract. Before that, get a college scholarship. And business school was the first time, a 2-year period where I could sit and be like, all right, who the hell do I want to be? What is important to me? And then I was like, all right, who are my friends? And it's like, all right, I got some conditional friends. I was really tight with this guy when I lived in Denver. I was really tight with these guys when I was in college, and I had lost touch with them. I was really tight with this guy in high school, and like I just realized, like, damn, I'm living all this life, doing all these things, but I don't have anyone who cares about me outside of my wife, and at that time, my 2 children, and I don't care about anybody else outside of my wife, my children, and my parents. And so I come out of business school not trying to accumulate more wealth, but more trying to like develop relationships and friendships. It's very weird, and I think Mina thought I was a weirdo because I was like, "Hey, you're gonna be my fucking friend."
I think you just might have actually made me realize why I was in these weddings. Is that I like get incredibly proud and happy for friends and happy moments.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely like it's like it moves me, and I want to be like incredibly supportive of people.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they've experienced that over the course of your relationship, and they're like, damn, this is like a really good friend. And like, that's who I have forced myself to become. And I'm much happier this way.
Yeah. Domonique's become such a good friend that I feel like a bad friend in comparison to Domonique all of the time.
He's an incredible friend. Also, like anytime I'm in a bad mood, he checks in. He's like, what was really going on?
This is getting weird.
He's a great friend. He hates the compliment. And that's true.
Wrap it up, B.
Wait.
No, wait, nothing.
I want to know, speaking of Charlie Kravitz's interior monologue, I want to know actually how it is that you possibly present a half dozen speeches that are sufficiently different enough from the other ones you've given as the best man.
Well, one, situational awareness. Like
as a quarterback.
I'm going to say Charlie Kravitz's guide to quarterbacking a wedding.
If people have been really long, you make that speech 30 seconds and you get out of there. No one, people want to dance.
Yeah.
They want to enjoy yourself. Like I gave the best man speech at my brother's wedding, and I was like, this is going to be incredibly personal. I want to tell him how much him and his wife mean to me. And obviously I wrote in a couple Papi jokes, got to get some pops off the top. But no, like for me, it's like there's a power of being earnest in most of these where people try way too hard to be funny. And it's like, we aren't comedians. You can say something funny or tell a funny story, but then just like get in and out of there. No one's ever been upset that the speech was too short and too earnest.
Totally.
And like all those experiences are different. Like I think I have drastically different friendships with all the people I talked at the weddings for.
But how much of your speech approach is trying to be funny, trying to entertain people?
Oh, entertain people, definitely. Like with pacing and stuff, but like funny, maximum. I mean, it depends on the person. Like maximum 2 jokes though. 2 like written in jokes.
Oh man, I'm swinging from the heels. Really, this is why I haven't been invited, I think, as often as you have to be a best man, is that my approach is would be the approach I have at like conferences, which is like anybody who's sitting there, a captive audience, they just want to have like a fun time.
Yeah, totally.
And I love it when the person who's right before me or the panel moderator before me just is like terrible. I'm like, thank God. My opening act is...
When someone bombs in front of you in a wedding speech, the pressure is off. Like you're getting up there and you're getting up there and cooking.
The thing about
I've seen some bad ones.
You got a story?
One of them, the brother of the bride. I was friends with the groom. I was not in this wedding, but I was watching it through my hands over my eyes. Went up there and was like, I wasn't supposed to give a speech, and I was told I have a couple minutes. I'm not really a minute man, and paused for the joke about premature ejaculation, and then continued to give a 30-minute speech about how he does not like the groom, who, by the way, is one of the most altruistic people I've ever met, and said that he read a book on attrition warfare of how to try and outlast him and make sure this guy didn't marry his sister, and then just basically ended the speech by being like, well, I guess I lost, and dropped and put down the mic.
Jesus.
I went to a wedding for, I'm not going to give any details because I surely hope this doesn't get back to anybody. Mm-hmm. But instead of walking down the aisle to the music that is traditional for a bride, the groom arranged for a surprise performance of an original hip-hop song that he would perform while his bride walks down the aisle. She didn't know.
Oh, God.
That my man was going to be spitting them love lines. It was amazing. Like, you guys know I'm not much for like a going out type of person. So like, I'm kind of being a little grumpy. Like, I gotta go to this wedding to my wife, and we go to this wedding, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing me to this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some great parent speeches.
Mm-hmm.
They just hold people hostage. I've enjoyed those. But really, I think the lesson of like a wedding speech is don't go that long.
Yeah. Yeah. Under 7 minutes.
A good reminder that you should tell people these events is this ain't about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is like, and this is not just weddings, it's any type of event. Don't give us a 10-minute soliloquy about all the things that you're thinking. And this is for anything.
I do love the move of trying to start a wave of applause as if it's over and just seeing if the speaker goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, also, if you want some attention, get off the stage while you still have a good speech. Then you'll get all the dap afterwards. There's nothing worse than when you see someone who bombed and they get the really sad, you did great up there for like 20 minutes in cocktail hour.
They got the whole room, Charlie. You're not going to get them to they got everyone wrapped, whether they are killing it or not. It's hard to get off of that.
Yes. Start a podcast is what we're saying.
Mm.
If you want to feel the jollies that that I feel like we here uniquely deserve, get a show.
Did you come up with that word or did your sweater?
Jollies.
Yeah.
It is what Santa Claus says, admittedly.
I suffered from a lot of insomnia in my 20s and got this weird ritual of falling asleep listening to podcasts on one volume with the auto timer of 15 minutes on Spotify to turn off. And I saw this article that Cortez very kindly sent our way in the Wall Street Journal saying, is this the most boring man in the world? And it's all about sleep podcasts and the booming industry of people, the 11 million people who've watched an instructional video for Microsoft Word with the most boring voice in America or in the world to fall asleep.
We're going to talk about the default setting on the computer. Default simply means that the computer has a lot of settings built in. If you open up Word, most likely it will start in Geneva. It might start in 10-point or 12-point. All of those are default settings.
This was infuriating to learn about because all I do, as you guys have established, is think of ways to like churn content, make interesting podcasts, stories, and so forth. And I just realized while reading this story that people are doing the exact opposite and are wildly successful at it.
Do you think people listen to your podcast to fall asleep?
I will take it. I would love it. I don't think and this is something I'm going to say as an insult to myself, to be clear. I don't think I'm good enough at being sleep-inducing as they need. So this article is full of examples, Domonique, where it's like a guy does fake full-length baseball broadcasts. Mm-hmm. He's invented a team. He's invented fake names. He calls an entire game for people to fall asleep to.
A light rain is falling here at Evermore Field, and the grounds crew has brought out the tarp. So we are under a rain delay here in the bottom of the sixth.
And this is all in the realm of being so boring that people use it as effectively white noise.
Yeah.
And so I am endlessly frustrated by the existence of this.
I listen to podcasts to fall asleep also, but I don't listen to boring ones. I just listen to podcasts that I would normally listen to.
I do the same thing. I listen to my favorite podcast. I listen to Bill Simmons to fall asleep almost every night.
Your favorite podcast?
Yeah.
How dare you?
It's the best. And it's if I'm really desperate, I can turn off my brain even more by listening to an old episode that I've already listened to, so it doesn't stimulate my brain at all. And I fall asleep now within like 30 seconds of listening to the dulcet tones of Bill.
I don't know what we're going to end up calling Victor Wembanyama. I wrote down some nicknames. Ironically, I called him an alien on a tweet on Tuesday. LeBron, they interviewed him after the Vegas game last night, and LeBron compared him to an alien. And the reason he did was because this guy is an alien. We've never seen anything like this.
My fiance.
I was going to say, how does she feel about this?
So she just has learned so much about the NBA. So much, because she's reading. And so basically, she'll be reading the 15 minutes she'll listen to about whatever Bill and Cousin Sal or Russillo are talking about. And when it's bleak, I go to his old podcasts, which are the NBA redraftables, because it's like this. I know I can fall asleep in. So one day in the morning, she woke up and she asked me, like, why hasn't that guy with Bill Simmons given up on Stromile Swift? Wasn't the 2000 draft 24 years ago? And I was like,
God.
I was like, you should have seen him dunk in traffic.
Have you ever felt these podcasts sort of incept your dreams?
Definitely.
I'm just going to definitely period that?
I was going to say, what?
I mean, occasionally I just wake up and go to the trade machine.
All right, lunatic. I'll put on a history podcast sometimes to fall asleep, and I have once or twice found myself in a battle. In a dream battle.
What kind of wars are you fighting, Domonique?
I mean, it's normally like, because it's a dream, like it's normally some combination of fictional and real. Is like you start in one place. It's a weird thing where you know you're dreaming. I feel like when I was younger, I would feel like I'm actually in a dream and it actually felt real. But now I feel like I always know I'm dreaming and to some degree can like tune it a little bit. So It's like, hey, I'm in a dream right now.
Lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
That's what that's called. It's not
that's your dream to lucid dream.
My life. I believe that if you could sell lucid dreaming to people, it would be the most popular product on the planet. The ability to inhabit a world of your own invention where you can do anything you want is, I think, the greatest power the human brain actually has. And so in the past, I have done a bit of a forum deep dive on like, how can I lucid dream? And it was like, you take vitamin B. And so I bought some vitamin B and you like take it before you. And for a time it worked. And it was incredible. And I would fly around and I would, why are you laughing, smiling already?
I'm proud of you, man. That's all. I'm not laughing, smiling. It's cool.
How am I the only person who feels this enthused about the potential? If you had the power to lucid dream on command, you're saying, nah, I'm good. Reality, I'm good.
Nah, I mean, it'd be fun. I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, flying is pretty cool. I think the difference is like whatever enjoyment you get from doing the things that you couldn't do in your regular life, like lucid dreaming, I assume means that you know that you're dreaming.
Yes.
So like, you know that you're dreaming, so you know that this is not like fully real. So like whatever like thrill that you get from, say, we'll stick with flying.
Yes.
You're like,
it's not
hey,
a metaphor.
Yeah. Hey, this is awesome. I love flying. But this also ain't real. I ain't really flying.
So I guess it is a little heartbreaking, I have found, when you successfully lucid dream and you're having the time of your life, and then you wake up and you realize that you can't fly, which again is not a metaphor. That is a bummer. But it also speaks to, I don't know, the human brain's a fascinating thing, man.
Yes, very.
I would pay for lucid dreaming if you could.
Thank
if
you.
You could give me a. I've never lucid dreamed. I went through a big phase as well where I was like, this would be awesome if I could have some sort of control over my like Inception universe of going from dream to dream to dream.
Yes, you have superpowers.
But I've never successfully realized.
And you know how you break out of lucid dream is you go to sleep in your dream. Yeah. That's what I found.
I mean, I've lucid dreamed before. I've never had vitamin B or tried to focus to do it. It was cool when it happened. If it happens again, it'll be cool. I ain't really like. This is weird to me that you guys are like, man, I can't wait to lucid dream. I'm gonna get focus and stimulate my brain.
He's got no sleep anxiety. This is someone who puts his head down on the pillow and just has like a lovely night of rest.
I've been having to wear the Darth Vader mask. So I have been quote unquote diagnosed with quote unquote mild quote unquote sleep apnea quote unquote. And so for people who have listened to this podcast before, you may have noticed a couple of curiosities I've had around the Darth Vader mask that I believe Dan Soder also has to wear.
I'm sorry.
And it's not a thing that I'm looking for sympathy because of, but I appreciate you knowing that
it seems like terrible because like I have to wear like a mouth guard.
Yeah.
And this tiny little thing I put in my mouth, and like it took me a week or so to get used to it, but it was kind of annoying. But I can't imagine having to strap some shit around my face and it has a hose connected to it.
Oh, yeah,
so like I'm a flipper. I like to flip and flop. You can't flip and flop. You gotta commit.
Real long hose though.
Nice.
Extension hose.
Good for you. I'm glad you got that.
Flip flopping, but also just like
I wouldn't have guessed it. I wouldn't have guessed it, but
I'm like a firefighter.
Nice. Congratulations. So since we're going to address that, like, I feel like I would lose my sexy vibe. It's like if I get hit with the feeling, I'm like, hold on, girl, you wait there a second. Let me get this sleep apnea mask off me. You gonna get it in a second. Let me get this thing off. Let me clean it first. I don't want no bacteria. Then you come back and you like, you still feeling.
That's right. I hear that beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
That sounds sexier though. It's only Darth Vader taking off his. You got to get a whole helmet because the helmet is sexier than the mask.
Yeah. So right now I have a sort of mask that's a more modern version than it's not like the Laremy Tunsil gas mask, which I think has been the sort of like standard for a long time. This is just like two things that get strapped around into my nose and just blasts
oxygen,
I believe. Into my whole respiratory system. And I am told, allegedly, that I have stopped snoring.
How much more refreshed are you when you wake up?
I feel great.
I can imagine.
Nice.
Because it feels like I've emerged from like a hyperbaric chamber. And I press the button, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, and I feel like I have gained permission to like enter the atmosphere. I do feel like I have been hooked up literally to a breathing machine. So I guess this indicates that I maybe do have a quote-unquote mild sleep apnea end quote, which I've been fighting for a while.
Sounds more than mild. I mean, I'm only interested in the other bedroom activities, how this affected. Like, if you lay down without it, is that sending a clear signal? Like, hey, I ain't got this on, so, like, let me know. Because, like, we all have our little ways of suggesting, because you don't want to just ask straight out. Or, like, the traditional, like, wife move or girlfriend move is you back it up into it. Back it up into it. If you feel the backup, you like, hold on. Signal receive. People.
This is said from a man who like spittily takes out his retainer and puts it on the night table.
I am completely comfortable with it. I wasn't trying to mock you. No, I just was wondering.
We're big retainer. Question. We listened to an early episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out where he said no one uses their mouth guard. And me and Domonique were like, nah. Yeah. We're tough. We trained ourselves to only sleep with the mouth guard.
Overcome it. I'm uncomfortable, but I ain't got that thing in there.
Yeah, I was given the option of like, hey, you could try the mouth guard or you could try the
mouth guard is, my mouth guard is for grinding.
So I also have grinded upon my teeth. But it also, again, this is a lot of sleep apnea science talk. But for me, I was given the option of either. And the idea would be that if I were to hold my mouth open in such a way, my teeth apart via the mouth guard, it would have maybe a similar effect. But I was told that it's more effective if I just strap that thing on, quote unquote. I mean, it's the one version of, I suppose, a thing to strap on that indicates that nothing is about to happen. What did we find out today, guys? I found out, I'll start, that Domonique used to do so many sit-ups that he uncontrollably shit himself as a 6-year-old. And that explains so much about my friend Domonique.
I made it to the toilet and then myself. But it's funnier that way. I appreciate your delivery, but I just spent the whole night on the toilet. I learned that Pablo's sweater game is on point.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's nice.
Thank you.
It's a great cardigan.
It's a high thread count.
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful.
It's very expensive.
I learned why I was in so many weddings.
Yeah, that was true. Like, you didn't know, but by the end of this, we figured it out.
Charlie does seem the most balanced out of everybody. In terms of everybody who confessed to various neuroses that I may or may not regret already. Kravitz feels like he came out looking the most normal.
He is, probably because he is the most normal.
Yeah. That's why he should be behind the scenes.
That's right.
Yeah, he's going to get less and less normal the more he does this bullshit.
Are you worried about that?
Of course.
As your co-host, he is now getting the taste of the very drug that we can't stop.
No, it's not the drug. It's just the experience. I don't think Charlie has any desire to be famous or want to do anything like that. Like, I'm not worried about it. It's just when you get on this side, you think about things that are... I've had this question before. Like, all of the people in our industry that are super successful are weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And including Pablo, especially Pablo.
But hold on. On a scale of weirdness, though...
Hey, whatever. You
I think
on an average scale... Yeah, you think we're close? Okay.
I think we are relatively normal.
Well, yes. Why are we having this conversation? Charlie's here.
Well, you guys are by far and away the most normal.
But but all of us are still pretty weird.
It's still pretty weird.
Charlie, you need to stop doing this stuff, man, before you lose yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes nice to have a touch of crazy in you.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Just wait till the subreddit starts.
Oh, God.
r/vanilla snack. Popping off with just some real weird lucid dreams people have been reporting.
Just a bunch of burners from Domonique posting in there.
Oh, gosh. It's a real thing.
What else have we not talked about that you guys want to talk about? Anything?
No.
Domonique, has nothing happened in your life recently?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No? Wait, what's happening?
I'm really not sure what Charlie's talking about, but I mean, sure.
I thought you were going to do vasectomy talk.
What?
What?
It's a perfect.
We're not wasting it on Pablo.
Oh, come on! Wait. As the son of a urologist, this is A+ material.
Not for your show, it's not. We're talking about my nuts on my show, baby. Hey, if you want to hear about the condition of these balls, come on over to the Domonique Foxworth Show. Download, rate, review. 5 stars, please.
Now that is a tease.
Baby.
But as for the people who keep these tubes flowing, Pablo Torre Finds Out is produced by Michael Antonucci, Ryan Cortez, Sam Daywig, Juan Galindo, Patrick Kim, Neely Lohman, Rachel Miller-Howard, Ethan Schreier, Carl Scott, Matt Sullivan, Chris Tuminello, and Juliet Warren. Our studio engineering by RG Systems, our post-production by NGW Post, our theme song, as always, by John Bravo. I gotta go call my dad and I guess ask him about vasectomies. So I'll talk to you Tuesday.